Hi, I'm LuAn Mitchell. I'm excited to talk to you today all around the topic of a goddess. And you know, inside of myself, I feel there's a part of myself that's eternal. It's evergreen, it's never dying, and I call it my goddess. And if you look up the word goddess, it has a lot of connotations. But I think of it in terms of simplicity. I think of it as something not only feminine, but also more expansive than that. And to gentlemen who support what I call the goddess in all women, it would be that part of our feminine. It would be that part of ourselves that keeps us driven, that keeps us moving forward, that keeps us comfortable in our skin. And I'm very, very proud as a speaker and an author and as a coach, both life and corporate, to tell you that in whatever realm I'm living in my life, whether it's a work environment, a home environment, as a mother and grandmother, I feel comfortable in my skin, and I attribute a lot of the reasons why to my goddess self. So I would encourage you to just share with us, please, for a moment or two here, as I have a conversation with another beautiful friend, Lisa Carbonera, who also celebrates her goddess and also has joined with me today. Welcome, Lisa, and thank you for sharing with our goddess selves on that level.
Thank you so much. I am so filled with gratitude to be included and to be able to interview you and learn. Every time I talk to you, I learn so much. I'm very excited to find more out about the goddess. We can never have too much goddess going on.
That's true. Did you have a question for me? I would love to answer a question for you.
I have so many for you. Regarding, I hear you speak about goddess a lot. What exactly does it mean to feel your goddess? What does it mean for you?
I have to tell you that it's a kind of a tingly feeling. When I think of my goddess, I truly feel almost like a magical feeling. Because the word goddess, to me, is something that keeps me connected with my spirit side. And I like to think of myself, and I know this of myself, that I have a very, very spiritual side. So I like the idea that something bigger than me is in control. I will call it the pilot of my life. It's at the controls of my life. And that part of me, I have to learn to surrender to every now and then. And it's my goddess side that says, hey, it's going to be okay. Sometimes when that human side of me, and not that I'm doing separate camps here, because I have to unify the two, says, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? This child needs this. Or, you know, I have a little grandson now. I was like, oh my gosh, what's the role of a grandmother? How do you do that? People see me and they'll say, hey, LuAn, and I want to be there for them, and I want to be there for myself. But when I get confronted in this life, whether it's financially, personally, as a woman, going forward with my authentic self, Lisa, and to our listeners, I'd like to really encourage you to think closely for one moment of your authentic self. Because we can veer away from being our authentic self sometimes, Lisa, because of what we might think others expect of us, or what we've been told we are. And we become something for someone else, or to appear a certain way. You know, back in the 80s, and I'm going to take you there, people talked of dressing for success. And they had the little Victoria ties. And the girls went to work, and they were like little men, little robotic men. And it was big, and you know, the shoulder pads were like big like this. And it was like, whatever. And it was the look. But it was dress for success, right? Big hair. You know, I can do my hair big like Farrah Fawcett. I'll bet you can too.
Yes, I do have experience in that area.
But it was the dress for success, and it had a certain look. Now, I say the dress for success is connecting with our spiritual selves. I call it that goddess side that allows me to give up control, to not just have to be always, you know, holding the reins tightly on my life, but understanding that something bigger than me can be the pilot, and I can be the co-pilot and relax, chill, and be happy and comfortable in my skin. And it's why I feel so good. And we're sitting here in our blue jeans. I have on a sweatshirt. You're wearing this lovely blouse that looks so pretty with the heart and the crown, like a goddess self. And we can be comfortable. Some others would say, oh my gosh, I'm going to be filming a goddess. You know, I should be wearing, Victoria look. You know, sort of And if they're comfortable with that, don't get me wrong, but be certain it's your authentic self. That's what I'm saying. If you're comfortable with it, wear anything you want, but it has to be your authentic self. And for me to tap that part of myself, I need to tap my goddess side.
That is really well said, because I believe that sometimes people think goddess means, oh, she thinks she's all that, but you touched it, authentic self. That is really a great light to put on it. I'd like to ask you something else now. For example, if a woman came up to you and maybe she has some low self-esteem, or I don't really even want to label it, but she's not feeling that she even has a goddess, even her authentic self, do you have any suggestions on how maybe she could discover it or where to start?
I do. First of all, this has taken me a lot, and that's why I had to pause before I said this. It has taken me a lot on occasion to realize that I had things not only to forgive others in my life for, but to forgive myself for. Things where I have been, instead of thinking and building myself up, I have been thinking and beating myself up. And Lisa, if anyone is feeling less than happy, less than comfortable in their skin, I would bank on the fact that they maybe need to forgive themselves for something that they're still carrying, that is a burden or a weight on them when they think of themselves. And I have had to sacrifice a lot of my past aggravation with myself because I didn't match up so perfectly to what I thought I could have been, should have been, would have been, coulda, woulda, shoulda. And I've had to admit it to myself. So sometimes we need to do intervention, whether for you it's prayer work, meditation, quiet time. When my children were growing up, I said to them, and Lisa, you're going to love this, but I said to them, look, Mommy needs time out. Mommy needs a time out. And we hear about mommies giving kids time out. I said, no kids, Mommy needs a time out. And they knew when I was pouring my bubble bath and I was lighting my candle and Mommy put a fragrant bubble bath in there and the bubbles were coming up and the kids would just look at me and they say, Mommy, take a time out. And I say, thank you, kids. And I would go in and it was my sacred space. So set up a sacred space. A sacred space. For me, it's my bubble bath. For someone else, it might be gardening or the kitchen. Or it might be a favorite armchair by the fire with a good book. Whatever it is, find out what your sanctuary is. Go there. Go there. And that's part of the goddess. And so my kids grew up not with a diva mummy, not with a high maintenance mummy, with a goddess. See, there's a difference. There's a big difference. And that's why we are uniting at goddess festivals, why we are celebrating this side of each other, because when we can tap it, recharge our batteries, be our authentic selves, then we can be a better mate. We can be a better mother. We can be a better friend, better daughter, better sister, better aunt, better everything. Because we are our authentic selves. We're comfortable in our skin. So when my kids heard the lock turn on my bathroom door, and they knew Mommy was going in her bubble bath, they were absolutely precious. And they grew up knowing that mummies also need to take time out. Because my little goddess needed a little candle lit, and she needed to have some space. And I love it. So that's the goddess side, and I'm so glad that you've tuned in, and thank you for those beautiful questions, Lisa.
You're welcome.
And do you feel your goddess coming alive?
I absolutely do, more and more every day when I spend time with mentors such as yourself. My life has changed in the last couple of years, and I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for you and your friendship. I really appreciate this time with you.
Thank you, Lisa. God bless.
You're welcome. God bless you too.
Appreciate it so much.
LuAn is committed to helping others grow and manifest their own inner greatness every day in every way. Like her at facebook.com/LuAn Mitchell. Follow her at twitter.com/TheLuAn Mitchell. And subscribe to her videos at youtube.com/TheLuAn Mitchell. And visit her at TheLuAnMitchell.com.